Hey, welcome to the David Lee Show. Hey, listen, today we've got some exciting news for you. Today I am going to guide you through turning your book into an audiobook. In this segment, we are going to focus on what I went through when I hired a professional narrator for my book, My Wife, My Kids, My God. Listen, I'll see you guys on the other side. So let's start off with finding the right narrator. So the first thing that I did is I went to Amazon, right? They got a platform, ACX. You guys can Google that. And it does pretty much everything. You can find your narrator, and you can publish your book, set the price, all of that. So, like I said, go to Amazon ACX and get that information. Open an account, and it is pretty much self-explanatory. One thing that I did is I interviewed about five different narrators, about five of them. And listen, this is the type of thing that's personal, right? You're not going to have to go to someone and say, "Oh, should I use him? Oh, should I use him?" When I found the one brother named Rodney Tompkins, right? I found this brother Rodney Tompkins had this beautiful baritone voice, and he was it. He was it. I knew. So you're not going to have to, generally I go to my wife and I say, "Hey, hon, listen, what do you think about this guy? Or what do you think about this book? Or what do you think about this chapter?" This was more personal. Like this was something that just sort of came to me. And there was really like no one that could have told me that this guy wasn't the right guy. So I would suggest that you take that journey on by yourself, right? I don't think you need to go to like six people and say, "Hey, what do you think?" That just slows down the process, second guessing and all of that. So I'd say just take this journey around. Some journeys you got to go on your own. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not going to be, "What do you think? What do you think? How can you help? Can you help me? Can you?" Sometimes you got to walk it alone. And I would say that this was one time where I walked this journey alone, and it was a wonderful experience. So one thing that you are going to look for, right, when hiring a professional narrator, and I'm not going to say that these are tests that I use, but it all starts with emailing the individual. So you email them, right? You say, "Hey, listen, hey, brother Rodney, can we meet on Thursday at 4 o'clock?" Right? And Rodney say, "Hey, man, well, listen, I'm busy on Thursday. How about Thursday at 6?" So 6 o'clock, you set up a time. Bam, he's there. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign, right? That's a good sign that he's there, right? And we did a Zoom call, right? So I got a chance, and Rodney basically he was in his element. He had sort of like the studio background. He had all of his equipment. So it was impressive. I ain't gonna lie, it was impressive. That's what you don't want to see a guy that's he's walking out in the street and he's talking to you. He was in his element, right? He had the mic. He sort of had the mic there. He was dressed nice. And he and I just vibed, right? So I'm listening to the baritone voice while he's talking, and I'm not sure if he's doing that purposely, but it was a wonderful exchange, right? So the next thing that I did, I said, "Hey, Rodney, listen, man. Hey, listen. I heard your samples, right? Because you can hear their samples online of all the books that they worked on. They give you a little sample of what they worked on." And that's kind of a way to kind of buy in. That's sort of buy in on your part. You hear the sample, and you're like, "Yo, this dude would be perfect," right? But right here's the thing: you're not going to know until he does your book. You're not going to know until he does your book. So I asked Rodney. I said, "Hey, Rodney, listen, man, would you mind doing a couple of paragraphs?" Rodney was like, "Hey, man, I tell you what, man, I want the work. I'll do a chapter." So, I mean, off the back, he's already given me value, like he's engaged in my project, right? I didn't feel like, this is just another dude on the assembly line. He's already engaged in my project. He's already giving me value. So the brother did one chapter, man. And I would tell you that he got that thing back to me like in 2 days. So of course, you're excited because this is your piece. This is your book, right? This is your love. This is your heart, right? That you put your heart and soul in. So of course you're gonna listen to it, man. So, I listened to it, and absolutely loved it. There were things that he did that I didn't ask him to do. So he's adding value. He's using his creative knowledge of what he does, right? And he's bringing it to your book, and that is partnership, right? Everybody talks about DEI and what's that, what's that all about? It's about bringing individuals in that you know nothing about and hearing what they do, right? That piece, right? So you don't want to be, it's all about David. It's all about Dr. Asbury. It's all about Dr. Asbury. You bring somebody else in that's creative. You bring somebody else over here that's creative. That person might do the book cover. This person might do the narrating. This person might do the editing. You know what I mean? You bring all of these forces together. Stop thinking you can do it all, right? That's a mistake that I made in the past. And I just can see now how bringing in these different forces can help you and elevate you, right? Can elevate you. So, going back to Rodney, there's a portion in my book where I have this Jamaican woman, and this dude, I wrote the book some time ago, right? And this just like brought so much life to the book, just like brought it all back, man. And he did this Jamaican accent that was like, he just nailed it, man. Like in my head, I saw this woman, right? I saw this woman at the doctor's office. You don't know, you see him, you don't know what that's a horrible Jamaican accent, right? But Brother Rodney Tompkins nailed it, man. He nailed it. And check the book out. I think it's I think it's one of the free. I think that's included in my free chapter on Amazon. So you can check it out. You can check it out and see what I'm talking about. He nailed it. It was hilarious. It was funny, and it brought so much life back to my book. So with that said, let's move on to the next thing, which is preparing your manuscript, right? So this is important also, right? Preparing your manuscript. You want to make sure, right, that you do everything possible to make your narrator's job easy. Because if you make your narrator's job easy, when he bounces it back to you, right, you're going to have the things in there that you need. And you're not going to have to correct. Oh, you got to change this. Oh, you got to change that. So you want to make it easier. I was popping in little notes, Jamaican accent here, um, 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 no Jamaican accent here. Just instruction, right? Give me your best impersonation of your dad or a dad in this kind of situation, right? And he would just add the stuff via my direction, right? I'm producing the book. I'm directing the book, right? Directing and producing, right? So you got to put that hat on, right? You got to put that director's hat on. You got to put that producer's hat. You paying for it, and you are also directing him and trying to come out with the best results. So you want to put your best foot forward when you are providing him with notes. It's really what you want, right? It's what you want, and you get his interpretation of what you want. And if it's not right, indicate. I was like, nah, I don't think so. I don't like this. Can you try this? And you keep going back and forth. Luckily, I had a great narrator. Luckily Rodney got it. He kind of got me. He got the book. You know what I mean? He wasn't just sitting there reading. Like he got the book, and the way that you can tell he got the book is that he brought out the what's the word? The essence. He brought out he captured the essence, and that is your goal. Your goal is to choose someone, right, whose voice resonates with your stories, with the essence of your story. That's the piece. That's the piece, right? So I would stress to you to make sure that you give your narrator clear guidance, right? Okay, so next, let's talk about coordinating the recording process. you're going to discuss with him or her timelines, your expectations. This is that you put that director's hat on. Time is money. You want to get this thing done. And I would also stress, right? I would also stress that you be pumped for this. Don't do this at a time when you are busy, right? You want to do this during a time when you are pumped, when you are ready. That way, and I'm going to explain to you why, right? When Brother Rodney was doing my book, he would do one chapter. I got about maybe 26 chapters, 26, 28 chapters, right? So he would do one chapter and I was on it, right? So after he did, so I didn't let Rodney get to like 10 chapters. So when he did one chapter, I was on it, meaning, and when I say on it, right, I was listening and doing my revisions and sending him my feedback back. So I didn't want him working on chapter 7 and being ahead of me. I wanted him working on that one chapter. So we banged out that one chapter. And it might have taken a couple of days, to get back and forth, but we banged out that one chapter and it was done. Then he would go to the second chapter. And when he would finish that one, I was on it. I was on it. There was no, oh, I got to do this, or I got this, I got to do that. As soon as he did it, I found 2 hours, sat down and listened, and then listened, and then listened. So I do it 3 times, right? Listen to it 3 times, right? The third time, that's when I make my little changes, if any, right? There were times when he just nailed it and I didn't have to make any changes. But there are going to be changes. You're going to say, hey, could you elaborate? Could you bring this out more? Oh, I thought that this was funny. Could you give me more funny? Could you give me more? I want to make my. I remember one time typing this at this part right now. Individual is supposed to be crying. Please bring out that emotion, right? And he captured it. He captured it. So again, right. I'm throwing my hats back on. Producer hat, right? Director hat. It's all about you, right? Putting that time in, and not letting your narrator get so ahead of the game. Now, okay, this is my way of doing it. You might want the narrator to finish the entire book. You might not want to do it piece by piece by piece by piece. I had the time to do it piece by piece. It's really all about how you work. Your system, right? Your system. That was my system. My system was like when he finished, I wanted to be up on it because I didn't want him getting 17 chapters and I got to do all of this work. So I was just like on it every single time he did a chapter. 3 times. Listen to it without any notes. Listen to it the second time for laughter and for fun and for emotion. And then the third time I had my pen out, right? Change this, change that. Oh, let me focus. Let me get back to this. Also, you're gonna when he's doing this, you're gonna have the narration going on in your head, and then you're also going to have the text, right? You need to give that individual detailed instruction on that text. So what I'm getting at is your notes will be um, page 7, line 8, the words blissful ending, I want you to change to ending. Please take out blissful. You know, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So you want to be specific and give him what he needs so he doesn't have to be going all around doing word search or whatever. He can just say, "Oh, snap, line 7. There it goes. He wants me to change that." And then he'll change it miraculously and it'll flow. I don't know how he does it. I'm not going to get into all of that. I mean, I do know how he does it, but I'm just saying it's not my problem, it's his, right? So you tell him what you want. Hey, could you take this line out? Could you redo this line? Hey, listen, on page 8, line 3, you said this word incorrectly, right? He's going to do it over. He's going to do it over. He's going to do it over. But it's all about your clear instruction, right? Making sure. And then, of course, you're going to go back. So really, I said 3 times. Most of the times, it's like 4 or 5 times each chapter that I went back just to hear it again correctly, right? Correctly. So with that said, so let me. Hey, this is just a taste of what I went through. We could talk. Yes, you can email me at fixingfathers@gmail.com. And also I'll give you my number, 718-288-0768. If you want to talk about your project. We ain't getting any money for this. This is just all about wanting individuals who have creativity in their going through their veins, and they want to do this. I got so much joy out of doing this, and getting my book, My Wife, My Kids, My God. You guys can go to Audible and pick that up if you want to. I think you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to laugh again. It was a fabulous book. I wrote this book after writing the book with actor comedian Damon Wayans. We wrote a book called Bootleg together. And you can't be with someone powerful like that and not come home right after that and not do anything. Just sit there and be like, okay, well, that was a good experience. Nah, you're going to come home so open and so ready to do something else. And pretty much that book was what came out of my experience of being with this brainiac, this genius. You know what I mean? So you can't be around. That's another thing. There's another lesson. Bam, another point. Surround yourself. You guys know. You've heard Denzel say it. You've heard all the big gurus say it, right? Tony Robbins. You surround yourself around greatness, right? Pebble will rub off, right? No, that's mine. But something is going to rub off, and you're going to snatch that, and that's yours, right? That's yours. That's yours, right? Wash with it. Wash in it. Wash in it and become that, right? You're not becoming that individual, right? You're just taking that little piece, that pebble that just kind of fell on the floor, and you're just like, wow, oh, let me snatch that. Let me rub that all over me. And the creativity, the juices will start to flow, and then you'll get your project done, right? And that's what it's all about, getting your stuff done. So with that said, I want to thank you so much, really, for stopping by. Again, the book is out now. My Wife, My Kids, My God. It's sort of a revised version of it. And I am so excited about it because of this guy, Rodney Tompkins, this partnership that we had. And, I don't know him from anywhere. I just, brothers I think he's in Chicago, and we just met, we vibed. We just met, like I just met him, and we just bam, we just like kicked it, and next thing you know, he's doing the book. I don't mind telling you. I think I might have paid like I don't mind sharing. I might have paid like $600-700. I think it was like $600-700. Money well spent. Gave him some money up front. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this. I know. Hey, give me a couple more minutes. I'm going to tell you this. This is the first time, right? And this is a no-no. You never do this. So I don't suggest anyone do this. But this is the first time where I just paid this brother. He wasn't finished. But I was so pumped and so sure that he wasn't that dude. That dude that's you pay him the money, it's sort of like getting something fixed at your house. You pay the guys the money, and they don't, oh, my dryer, my washing machine, they ain't fixed yet. You gave them the money, and then they don't come back. They don't care. I was so sure, this dude was just like, he had that great voice. Hey, Dave, this is what I do, man. This is what I do. He had the studio set. So, it wasn't about me worrying about anything. I knew he was going to do the work. And like I said, this is that sort of personal. Now, I don't suggest you go out and do that. I'm saying that's what I did. I did that because I felt that vibe. I felt that vibe, and it worked out. And I will be back. I got another book that I'm working on, the Robert Fulton Project. Now, he actually threw that in at the end. At the end of this book, there's one chapter, an excerpt of this next book that I've been working on for years. Guys, please, the gods, please bless me so that I can finish this book before it's all said and done. Please, the gods, please bless me, and you bless me. But this book, the Robert Fulton Project, it's a story about when I, growing up in the projects and just dealing with. It's it's basically about the project. It's about project life, right? And what happens to individuals, right? Oh my God, this book is phenomenal. I'm going to say brilliant. I'm going to say brilliant. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that this book right here, I gotta finish it, and it's been bugging me that I haven't finished. I've been working on it for years, but I haven't finished it. But I would love for you to listen to that first chapter. It's the Robert Fulton Project. It's at the end of the book. That means you have to buy My Wife, My Kids, My God. Oh, I got you. That means you got to buy My Wife, My Kids, My God, which is also another brilliant book, which is a fun book for fathers to let dads know that we make mistakes, right? But we can redeem ourselves. That's what it's all about. We make mistakes. We ain't perfect, right? Last father that I know that was perfect was Bill Cosby, right? That's who we right deemed him perfect, right? And see where that got us, right? See where that got us? So you don't deem anyone perfect. We all make mistakes, but we deem Bill Cosby perfect, and that all blew up. And I'm a huge fan of Bill Cosby. But hey, I don't want to get into all of that. But anyway, like I said, I hope that you've gotten some value out of this. You got my information, 718-288-0768. If you want to give me a call, I'll get on the call. I'll talk to you about it. You just got to be ready. You got to be ready. I want you to basically fulfill your dreams and get your book done. Get your book done. Or you can email if you don't feel like talking to me because I'm long-winded. fixingfathers@gmail.com. And remember, on the David Lee Show, we live to laugh, we live to learn, and you guys know what? The ones that hang with me, right? We live to love our children by any means necessary. Listen, I said it and I'm sticking to it. Until next time, talk to you guys soon. With love.